Good morning. Good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever y'all call me. First, we want to thank God for being awoke and alive, healthy. Now, let's see what the weather here is in Charlotte today. Alexa, what's the weather today?
Right now in Charlotte, it's 47 degrees Fahrenheit with cloudy skies. Today's forecast has showers with a high of 60 degrees and a low of 47 degrees.
Okay, be pretty fair today. Not too hot, not too cold. We don't want it too hot anyway, especially cooking. Being burned up. And I've been up early this morning, trying to prepare my Thanksgiving meal. I'm going through the house. I'm going to have to tell you this story real quick. I'm going through the house and I'm seeing all these things that I got to go back out. Now, I went shopping, okay? Now, the people that know me know how I do things. I go to the market. I get everything I need, okay? Especially when I'm making a big dinner. This is what I do, okay? I will work and do whatever I got to do to get everything I need so I don't have to go back to the store, especially on Thanksgiving Eve, because, there's a lot of people that's last minute. They need this, they need that. The lines be real long. I experienced that a couple of years in a row here in Charlotte. So I said, I'm not going out there on Thanksgiving Eve. Yeah, right. Wake up this morning, starting to prepare things. Stuff is missing. I made pies yesterday, and I ate some of the pie. I looked at the sodas, 35 cans of sodas. Empty. Okay. So yeah, I was on hot this morning, I felt like bugging out a little bit, And when I say bugging out a little bit, meaning going off on the family. However, I was able to get me some morning madhouse therapy so I can laugh it off and do what I got to do. This morning, the Madhouse, Power 98, was having some Thanksgiving therapy, and I needed me some Thanksgiving therapy, so I called them up and got my Thanksgiving therapy. So y'all can hear that on my Instagram page, Miss JJ Diamond. Yeah, sometimes we need therapy, people, and this is where I know I'm laughing about it. However, things can get to us. It can be the smallest thing, but you're so built up with stress. And you snap, this is the thing. The doctors is always saying people have, what's that thing? Bipolar. And I don't believe that it be bipolar, because when you know a person and you see them on a regular basis and they don't act like that, and then all of a sudden they start acting a little crazy, it's because they have too much stress and they haven't released it. Now, we've talked about meditation. Meditation is one way to release your stress, and going to therapy is another. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy, people, so you can think straight. Because people have the tendency, when you're going through a lot of stress and a lot of people are coming at you, and it don't even have to be in a negative. It could just be, you're at work and somebody may say something and you snap because you got so much going on, and you feel like the people are coming at you. It's not personal sometimes, it's just that you're taking it personal because you have so much going on within your body and your mind. So this is one of the reasons why we meditate. This is also one of the reasons why we go to therapy, okay, to talk out our feelings, and get some advice. Now, the Morning Madhouse, that was play therapy, y'all. We laughed, that's comedy, okay, when y'all listen to the thing. However, don't listen to Burpee. I chose Burpee. I'm going to tell y'all why I chose Burpee for two reasons. One, and this is to go out to, I don't remember, this is the problem, why I didn't choose, and I wanted to choose her, but I couldn't remember her name. I didn't know if it was Vanyetta or Jessica, okay, because I listen to Power 98 on a regular basis, so I get them mixed up. One have their own show, and the other one works with the Morning Madhouse. So I wasn't sure. So I didn't want to mess up on that. So I chose Burpee. But I chose Burpee because Burpee going to tell you some crazy stuff, And, he's a Christian. So he makes the Christian life, funny. So that's pretty much why I chose Burpee. So shout out to Burpee for Power 98. And Jessica and Valletta and No Limit Larry and Butterfingers. It's a lot of them. I don't know what happened to Nikki, but because I haven't heard her lately, but I've heard all the rest of these guys. And y'all, all y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully I can get down there and bring y'all pie. But yeah, we're getting back to the therapy. People, don't let your life stress you out so much to where you can't think. You know, this is the beauty, and I'm going to tell y'all, this is the beauty of being a New Yorker. And I had to tell my daughter this yesterday. Y'all know rent is high in New York. Jobs don't pay that much, you know. But the thing about being a New Yorker, we always find a way. You know, that's why they say, this is the saying, you know. If you can live in New York, you can live anywhere. And the reason why is because life is hard there. You know, and I'm not saying like hard when you can't survive. There's always a way to survive, you know, and we make a way to survive. You know, if we have nothing, we turn nothing into something, okay? And that's a shout out to my town. You know, I've lived there not rich, but upper middle class, and I've lived there poor, okay? And they taught me everything I needed to know to survive no matter where I go. And I had to teach my daughter that, you know, even though you're in an uncomfortable setting, you can't allow your mind to defeat you. You know, we're human beings. None of us are perfect, and we all go through problems. We go through issues, you know. So we have to take that for what it's worth, you know, and understand that nothing. Oh, Lord, look, she done woke up on the wrong side of the bed. She comes slamming my door. Now, should I get up and beat her up for trying to be grown? No, because I can go to jail, right? Yeah. See, I had to think that out. Anyway, but yeah, she's pushing my buttons this morning, y'all. Getting back to the therapy thing, we have to realize nothing lasts forever. Now, granted, some things can seem forever, especially when you get into a crime and you got to be judged and go to jail, you know, and they tell you, they hit the scaffold and say 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. That can seem like forever, you know, but nothing is forever, you know, but death. Okay, I just wanted to throw that out there. We have to learn to take care of our minds just as well as we take care of everything else. We can do all the working out. We can eat right. But if your mind is not right, you're not right. You're still off key. Okay? So we need to really participate in taking care of our minds. You know, I see some of these women and men, nice looking men, handsome, nice bodies, you know, and then their mind be sick. And you say, oh, Jesus, here's a red flag. Same with women. And men talk about it all the time, how, you know, they'll meet a woman, the body is like banging. They say, oh, yeah, she look good. Look at her. But her mind is sick. You know, and this is not something that we want to project, you know, especially in these times with COVID, you know, we just got a new president in, you know, so we got anxiety about that. You know, we're thinking about losing our jobs because we don't know what's going to happen with the COVID. They may shut down again. So, yeah, we're going through a lot of anxieties, you know, and like I was listening to this woman on the Morning Man House, you know, this morning, and she was saying how she goes to work and she just feels very uneasy when she gets there. And I understand her perfectly because when I get to my job, that's how I feel. You know, sometimes it just does that to you. And, you know, and this is my thing. When something like just like they told her, and this is the way I look at it as well. When something is making you feel that uneasy to where you have an anxiety, you need to get away from it. You know, you just have to get away from it. Granted, you know, a lot of us, we get out here and we try to help, you know, people by giving therapy. You know, Some of us call it free game. Some of us call it therapy. Some of us is just call it teaching, But we try to help the people because they don't have the want. They feel like they don't have the need or the want to go to real therapy. But real therapy can really be beneficial to you. Okay? For you to talk to someone that don't know you, don't know the people around you, you're able to express yourself and get things straight in your life and release all that negative energy. Because the longer you carry around that negative energy, that's just like if you fill a bucket up with water and it just keep going and going, the water is just going in the bucket, going in the bucket. What's going to happen? Eventually, the water's going to spill over out of the bucket. That's how you're going to be with all that stress. And then you're going to snap, For those that like seen my video, and me and Sing Gang, in that video, y'all can see that video on YouTube, it's JJ Entertainment. In that video, I snapped, okay? And I started beating up stuff outside. I was going crazy, okay? And that was the purpose of me making that video to show the people that, sometimes we can have so much stress that it will make you snap, that people would do so much to push your buttons to where you will snap, And in the song I'm talking about, I'm talking about a relationship and how my life is, in the song, however, or was, I'm not saying is, was, in the past, and how it can make you snap. And this is real life, people. People don't realize that people go through these things every single day of their lives, where they're so stressed out to where they snap. They even got a TV show called Snap, where women were being abused and then they snap and kill their husbands, somebody was bothering them too much and they snap and do something to them. And that's what happens. Like, even with bullying, just like here in Charlotte, we had a kid that was being bullied and he couldn't take it no more, and he snapped and he killed the guy, So these are the things that you have to look out for, when you're pointing the finger at people, talking down to people, mistreating people, because people do snap and they don't get the therapy that's needed, Granted, you need to get therapy, okay? Whether it's from, a lot of people, they get it from their parents, because the parents ain't going to tell you nothing wrong, But the only thing about getting it from your parents is going to always be biased. So if you're telling them about somebody else, they're going to always, not always, but most of the time be on your side, because they have love for you. And this is why we don't suggest parents. I'm one of the parents. I'm going to tell my kids straight up. If I see the situation and I feel that they were wrong, I'm going to tell them, because I don't want them feeling like, well, my mom said, and then go out here in the real world and this is the way they are and they shouldn't be that way, So I'm one to tell my kids and they'll tell you. If I'm wrong, my mama going to tell me, It's like, I caught my grandson calling a female a bitch, and he said, well, she did such. I said, I don't care what she did to you. You don't never in your life call a woman a bitch. Okay. And me and him got into it, but you're supposed to be on my side. I am on your side. I'm trying to teach you how to respect women. He didn't understand it, but it is what it is. If you don't want to understand it, don't understand it, but I'm telling you right. Okay, so anytime you call a woman a bitch in my face, we got a problem, dude. So we have, as parents, trying to give our kids therapy is the wrong thing sometimes, and sometimes it can be the right thing, because it is a lot of mothers out there just like me that's going to keep it real. It's not going to pull no punches with their kids and give it to them the way it's supposed to be and not put love in front of it. Sometimes you got to have tough love for your kids. Sometimes you got to have tough love for your family members, and that's just what it is, but you have to learn how to care for yourself, because when mommy and daddy is gone, like, I used to use my mother as a therapist every day. Every day on my way when I was living in Maryland and I was driving from Baltimore Brooklyn, Baltimore. Okay, for those that don't know that Baltimore has a Brooklyn as well. Y'all hear me shout that out in my song, Y'all Wanted a Killer, for those that didn't know that Baltimore had a Brooklyn. Well, I worked in Brooklyn, Baltimore every single day, except for Wednesday and Sunday. I didn't go there. 5 days a week I went to Brooklyn, Baltimore. And on my way home from work, the first thing I would do is I'd get in my car, and I'm in my truck, because I had a truck then. I get in my truck, and I would get my phone, and you can't really talk on the phone. You got to have an earpiece. In Maryland, they don't play that. But I get my earpiece on and dial my mama so I could tell her about my day and what I'm going to face when I get home. But then when my mama passed away, I don't know if I told y'all this story. Right after my mom had passed away, I had to get all her things from the hospital. They gave me her cell phone, all the stuff. So I threw it in my purse and never paid attention to it. I had already buried it and everything. I ain't even paid no attention to it. And I got off of work, and I was used to my therapy, my after work therapy from my mom. And I dialed her number. And I'm like, why is she not picking up? And it was crazy because the phone didn't lose charge all that time. So she had a good phone. It wasn't being used. I guess nobody was texting her or whatever the case may be. So it just didn't lose the charge. And I heard it ringing. And I'm looking around the car, and I'm like, where's this ringing coming from? And I'm like, Mommy won't answer the phone. And I'm like, where's this ring? And then it dawned on me. I had to get my purse. And I said, the phone is in my purse. Lord Jesus. I said, God, please help me. I said, I forgot my mama was dead, and I need to talk to her. I said, but now I got to talk to you because I don't know what to do. I was bugging because I was used to that therapy. So therapy can become actually a good thing and addictive too, because you love that feeling of releasing all that negative stress. And it was so bad with me to where I forgot that my mother was no longer with us for me to call her, and get that therapy that I needed. So, we all have our people that we will call up and talk to and just get those feelings out. And then we have some of those that we don't want to talk to, okay? Because you will hear all your business all over the place. So you got to watch out for those people too. This is why it's best to just make an appointment for regular therapy, okay? And that way, everything is confidential. You don't have to worry about it getting out there and people talking about it. You don't have to worry about that, because it's under the medical law, At this time, people, we have to learn to help ourselves, okay? And I think I told y'all this before. Granted, yes, we have the president, we have the government, but still in all, you have to learn to take care of yourselves. You cannot depend on the government, okay? We don't want to make ourselves dependent. We just don't want to do that. And the reason being is because if we do that, when they're no longer here to service us, what do we do? So y'all got to pay attention to these things, people. We're coming into some trying times, and I tell people, I had to talk to my daughter yesterday. We had a long talk about God. She had some fears about some things, and I told her, and I said, she came and talked to me about some demons and spirits and stuff like that. Once again, kids look at their parents for therapy. So when your kids need to talk to them, and then this is for the parents, talk to them. Because sometimes that's all the kid be missing. It's that extra love. They need to talk, That's one thing about my kids. They never hesitated to talk to me. I could be on the toilet, and I tell you no lie, and they will bust in the bathroom. When they're going through something, I'm like, well, can I use the bathroom, please? They're like, ugh. But I just wanted to tell you. And I'm like, all right, just go ahead and tell me. It got to the point where I would just leave the door open because they're busting anyway. because they want to talk to me. You know, be there for your children when they're going through things, because it can actually turn out to be a bad ordeal, because they're thinking about doing something that they really didn't want to do, but they needed your cosign. So talk to them. Be there for them. You know, I'm going to use my grandson, for instance. You know, he had went through some tragic things. You know, he had lost one of his friends, and she was a female. You know, him and his friend, they was really close to this particular female. And they just couldn't sleep. They walked the floors, you know. And I went through that right along with them, you know, as an adult in their lives, you know. But it became overwhelming for me, to where I needed to seek therapy and get some of my things out, because I couldn't be there for them mentally and even physically if my mind would have broke down. And quiet as kept, my mind did break down a little. Not enough to break me down to where I was in a deep depression. You know, y'all hear me say sometimes, y'all, I was in depression, so this is why I didn't do this, or I didn't do that, you know. My depression is never a deep, deep depression, you know, because I'm from New York. We never stay depressed too long. We always figure out a way to make something happen, because nothing lasts forever, you know. And that's the beauty of being a New Yorker. I'll tell y'all that again. You know, I love being a New Yorker, even though I don't want to go back home. You know, just being a New Yorker is a wonderful thing, because they taught me so much. You know, so shout out to New York City. You know, I love you guys, you know, for all the things y'all taught me. And I can't wait to come home. I want to visit so bad, you know. Hopefully soon, upcoming year, 2021. Hopefully this COVID thing will go away, and I can come on up there and see my peoples. And, you know, my thing is I want to walk through Harlem in the summertime. I love walking through Harlem in the summertime. You know, everybody's dressed, smelling good, looking good. We all walking, you know, chilling, you know, and just got that city smell, you know. It's just nothing like it, y'all. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I need to go home and get that city smell, you know, one time. But, and back to therapy, you know, and that could be my therapy. You know, when I get back home and smell that city smell, you know, that could be my therapy for all the stress that I've been going through and the depression I've been going through. You know, sometimes you need to go back home and get your mind right, you know. Kids, it's hard for them to make appointments for therapy, you know, because they're children. So when you feel like you're becoming overwhelmed with your children's issues, make that appointment for them. Reassure them that they will be okay. They just need to get out their feelings and let them talk about it. You know, a lot of people's afraid of allowing their kids to go to therapy because they're afraid of what they're going to tell them. You know, but this is the thing, people. If you're doing things right, you know, to the best of your knowledge, you don't have to worry about what your child tells anybody. Okay? And that's just the facts. Okay? So if your children if you're feeling like you can't take your child to therapy to help them because you're doing something wrong, then you need to straighten out yourself and start working with that child ASAP. You know, because it's your job as a parent, and it's in the Bible, okay, to teach your children. It's your job. Granted, we have it harder than the animals, you know, and you notice the animals, that's what they do. Before they let their children go, they teach them, okay, and then they send them off on their way. You know, I watched the bird. I have a nest over my balcony, and the bird had her babies, and they were in the nest, and she would go out every day, and I watch her because I used to sit on the balcony a lot, and sometimes I watch her, and she'd come back with stuff to make the nest more comfortable. You know, I would put bird seeds on the table so she can come down and get them to feed her babies, and after a while, I start seeing the little babies peeking their little heads out, And I would laugh at myself because, like, as soon as she see me get on the balcony, she'll peek her head out and she'll fly off. And I'm like, look at here, Missy, I'm not watching your kids. So come back and watch your own babies, But I'll put the bird seed out there, sunflower seeds and stuff, so they can, eat. So she wouldn't have to go far from her baby. She can watch her own babies. She ain't got to be seeking all over the place looking for food. She can just get the bird seeds off the table and take them back up to her babies. But then after a while, I started seeing them coming out, and they started flying. Then they all disappeared, and she was there by herself, And I watched that, and I was like, wow, she raised her kids, fed them, kept them healthy, taught them whatever they needed to know, and now they're gone. They found their own homes. It's just like us. We do the same thing. We raise our children to go out there in the real world, and that's it. Us humans have to learn how to do that, We have to learn how to raise our kids and send them out in the real world so they can go out on their own. But if you're not living your life right, they're not going to live their life right. And then now you done got old and you're saying to yourself, why is this kid still acting like that? Think about the things that you did in the past, Or if you saw your family going through something, did you go get therapy so you can try to change it? Therapy is not always a bad thing, people. We don't want to see these kids go out here and they don't have the mindset to care for their lives. They get weak. I don't let my kids leave until I know that they're right. And, like with my last one, he gone, and I had to get on him real hard. The last year, I had to real hard. I had to go hard body on him because he was missing some things. And I said, I don't want to go this hard on him, but I have to. Because he got some of the things a little bit slower than, the average, because he was going through his things of growing up or whatever the case may be. So I had to go hard body. And not only did I have to go hard body, because he was ready to leave the nest, he had kids. So I really had to go hard body. He might not have understood it. He may hate me for it. But I bet you he could take care of himself. And that's what it's all about. Preparing your children to care for themselves. And if it takes going to therapy, they have all kind of classes out here before your kids go out on their own where they can learn, budgeting, the white people are big with that, getting their kids those type of classes, but, as colored people, we need to get into that thing too. Don't say, I don't have the money to do this for my kids, because yes, I do. Okay, if y'all can walk around with $150 sneakers, you can take a couple of dollars, $35, and pay for a budgeting class for your child or a parenting class for your child. You can do it. Don't tell me you can't. Because then when they get out there and then they embarrass you, you're saying, why? Why? I thought I trained this child right. But maybe you couldn't get through to that child. I had a lady tell me the other day. I was telling about my kid. And she was telling me about her kid. And she said, you know what? Maybe you could train mine and I could train yours. I said, well, yeah, I said, because these kids just don't listen to their parents. And this is why we implement the therapy. Because if they don't see what they want to see in us, because they think that like my daughter thinks I'm the most harsh mom sometimes, But then she'll come to me and say, I hear her telling her friends, my mother don't hit me. My mother, she might scream a little bit, but that's it. I get what I want, And this is what I hear her telling her little friends. But then she'll come to me and say, Mommy, you're so mean. And I'm like, mean? I ain't did nothing. What are you talking about? That's her way of doing things. And all kids have their own way of doing things, so you can't take it personal when the kids are saying certain things, because they're still growing and still trying to learn themselves. And if you feel like you see something that's not right, say, hey, you know what? I think we're going to do some therapy. And what they're going to say? Mom, what's that? Well, I'm the parent, so I'm taking you to therapy. Well, I'm not crazy. No, therapy is not for crazy people. Therapy is just to get your feelings out. I think you're going through too much, and I can't help you with this. I need you to talk to somebody else. It's simple. Because then what's going to happen is you're going to snap if you don't get these feelings out. And it's even with the kids. They snap too. And then you be wondering what's wrong with them. Now you want to put them in the psych ward. A person could take for so much with human beings. And I keep trying to tell people stress is the number one killer. Like today, we played around on the radio with it, well, quiet as kept. I'm going to be stressed when I get out there today, trying to go get some soda and other stuff that I need at the Sam's Club, and it's real life, The governor has implemented not too many people being in the stores. Well, we know the mask thing was already implemented. So now it's going to be a longer wait, The last minute people are going to be out there. It's going to be crowded. So it's going to give me stress because I'm going to be waiting online, all these people trying to get in the store just to get some sodas, or to get whatever else I need. So I really didn't need that laugh, laugh it off because it's got to be done. Whether I like it or not, it has to be done. So with that being said, yeah, I needed that laugh this morning. My therapy was laughter. And sometimes laughter can also be therapy. That's why I like to laugh every day. When I go outside, the guys be out there and they'd be doing crazy stuff. And I'll be on my way to work and I'll stop and I look at them and be cracking up with tears be coming down my eyes. And I'll tell them, thank you. They just gave me my therapy for the day, and that was laughter. Laughter is a big, big therapy for people. That's why I look at the comedians. I love the comedians. Like Darren Fleet, he's one of my favorite right now. Because they give you laughter. And laughter helps release stress. Smiling helps release stress. Because you notice when you're stressed out, your body is tensed, real tense. Your neck gets tensed, your jaws get tensed, and you got to stretch it out. That's why they say smile, to keep all of that from being tensed. You go get massages so you won't be so tensed. And it all comes from stress. So we need to get therapy, some type of therapy. You got to have somebody you can confide in. Well, I'm going to end this podcast because I got to get back to cooking and getting myself together so I can hit the streets. When y'all look at that video, I was looking a mess, because I'm up doing what I got to do. This is real life, people. I didn't get out the bed looking like a Barbie. And I'm just keeping it real with y'all. This is real life. I didn't get out the bed looking like a Barbie. But I got to get myself together, okay? So I can look cute when I hit the streets. So it takes time, people, I made this song. I don't know when I'm going to release that song called Wifey. Re-released because it was already released. I have a song called Wifey, like asking the husband, like, what a man, what do you love about me? You say you want to marry me, you want to give me a ring. What do you love about me? Is it my body? Is it my mind? Is it, what is it? Because it takes a long time for me to look like this, meaning looking, to perfection. It takes a long time. So why do you love me? If you can't love me looking a mess, you shouldn't be able to love me looking good. And that's just what it is, But anyway, I want all of y'all to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy. They're talking about, just try to stay with your family, your immediate family, which is probably the best, y'all. But, and I tell people, if you don't have immediate family, they know they can always knock on my door for a plate. Just bring your mask with you, just like if you was going to the store, because I don't want to catch the COVID. I've been thankful, to be healthy throughout this duration, and being that I'm a sickly person, so I'm thankful. My stomach be sick a lot. I got bad allergies. I'm pneumonia prone. So I am so thankful. That's why I got to thank God every single day of my life when I wake up. Y'all hear me? And I have to, and y'all should too. But with that being said, just be cautious, y'all. Be cautious. I also want to tell y'all need to stop eating out so much, because you don't know how people are handling your food. When you are out, buying food. I had went to a restaurant. I think I mentioned this before. Right after the pandemic started slowing down a little bit. And I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and eat out. And I'm looking at the guy, and he's serving the food, even though it's behind glass. He still has to scoop it in the hand. The plate is in his hand. And even though they claim that COVID is not airborne, but if that person breathes too hard and their nose are not covered, stuff can fall out. This is why, people be laughing at me because I hate boogers. I really hate boogers, y'all. I can't take it. If I got a booger in my nose, I'm getting it out. Okay, I can't take it. You don't know if these people got boogers in their nose, and the stuff fall in your food. And I'm just keeping it real with y'all. This is just the way I see it. Just be careful. Be careful. Because y'all could just be eating the COVID, and this is why so many people can't get rid of it, and especially the prepared food that's sitting out, not food that just came out of a hot, hot stove, and it came out of a hot stove. I'm talking about the foods that's sitting out under a burner, keeping it warm, and these people are constantly opening it up, dipping out food and stuff like that. Y'all got to beware for stuff like that. You want something that's been heated right before it's given to you. If you're going to eat food. Okay, if I go say McDonald's or Kentucky Fried Chicken, I'm gonna tell them give me the food straight out the grease, and they need to have their mask over their nose. You have the right to tell them this, because this is your life. All that sitting down at restaurants and people carrying your food through the air. My daughter had brought something to my attention. She said, I cough a lot with my allergies, especially when I dust or whatever the case may be. And sometimes when I'm in the stores a long time, I pull off my mask and I start coughing. And my daughter said, Mom, put your mask back on until we get in the car. And I'm like, why? She said, it's just how you coughing. Somebody else could have walked through here coughing and you gonna walk right into the germs. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I had to think about it, and this is coming from a child. So I'm just telling y'all, we got to get rid of this thing, okay? You do not want to go to a restaurant and sit down and eat because people are literally over your food. Not more, not one, not two. Sometimes it's 3 and 4 people, okay? Because they make the food, they pass it up to the, put it on the counter. So the not maid, but the, what they call them, y'all? Oh, Jesus. Y'all know I'm getting, I can't remember nothing. The waitress. So the waitress could take the food to you. And now this food is being walked through all these people that's in this restaurant. Even though some got on a mask, but a lot of them want to wear it up under their nose. Or they want to take it down and put it up under their chin. They still doing this stuff even after they have told them to stop. They don't care. So if they don't care, you have to care because it's your body. Okay? So these are the things that y'all need to look at when y'all out here. Y'all want to go to the restaurant. I get it. Y'all miss it. But sometimes you have to have discipline. Y'all know I talk about discipline all the time. Discipline is the key, people. I was at work the other day. They gave us Thanksgiving dinner. I ain't eat it. I don't know who fixed that stuff. I know my people probably was, my boss probably was mad. Like, not mad, but like, why is she so nonchalant? Because I don't know who made that food. Then that food has been sitting out, it had to be prepared and brought from one area to the next, So if somebody did cough over it or some droplets of spit or whatever the case, because they're talking and they forgot they put their mask on their chin because people don't listen. Now here I am sick. So I just want to throw that out there. Y'all be careful. If it's not sealed or coming straight out of the grease and being put, where a person, their mouth is covered and they can't put no droplets in there, I can see it happening. But if you don't physically know and can't see these people, I wouldn't trust it. Okay? So I say that to say, be careful. We're going to continue to, ask God to cover us with the blood of Jesus. Y'all all have a happy Thanksgiving. Y'all stay safe. And I will talk to y'all Friday morning.